Hi Year 5, welcome to today's times table session. So our big question today is, can I multiply and divide whole numbers and those involving decimals by 10, 100 and 1000? Remember, a whole number is just a number that hasn't got any decimals in there. Okay, let's get started then. First, can you write the number down on a piece of paper that you can see on our place value chart? I'll do it on my board while you do it on your piece of paper. Okay, did you get the same as me? So you should have got 468. I've got 8 ones, 6 tens and 4 hundreds. We're going to now times that number by 10. Now remember, when we multiply, our number gets bigger. Because we're multiplying by 10, remember, we have to move every number one place to the left. So my 400s would move to my thousands. My 6 tens would move to 600s. My 8 ones would move to 8 tens, which means I've got a space in my ones. Can you remember what I put there? Super, it is my placeholder. So 468 times by 10 would equal 4,680. So if we completed these number sentences, if I multiply this number by 10, it becomes 4,680. The digits move one place to the left to make our number bigger, and I need to put a 0 in the empty column to make it a placeholder. Let's look at the next number sentence. If I multiply this number by 100, so this time then I'm doing 468 times by 100. Just like I did last time, I'm going to label my columns. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. What's the next column? Write it down on your piece of paper. You should have got 10,000s. So this time, having a look at timesing by 100, I'm going to move it 2 places to the left. So my 4 goes 1, 2. My 6, 1, 2. My 8, 1, 2. And this time I've got 2 spaces, so I'm going to put my 2 placeholders in. So 468 times by 100 would equal 46,800. So let's complete our sentences together. If I multiply this number by 100, it becomes 46,800. The digits this time move 2 places to the left. And finally, let's have a go at the last one. It says if I multiply this number by 1,000. So let's write my number down again. I've got 468. I'm going to label my columns again. So I've got ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s and 100,000s. And we're timesing by 1,000. How many times do I have to move to the left this time? Well, if we look, I have to move it 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you will notice I've got 3 spaces this time, so I'm going to put my 3 placeholders in. So 468 times by 1,000 this time equals 468,000 in my number sentence. Let's complete them. If I multiply this number by 1,000, it becomes 468,000. The digits have moved 3 places to the left. Okay, let's have a go at this one then. So it says, can you match each planet to its moon to complete the calculation? I'll do the first one with you. So the first one is 63 times 100. So let's write my number, 63, and we're timesing by 100. I've got my ones, my tens. I'm moving 2 places to the left. So I've got my hundreds and my thousands. 1, 2, 1, 2. I've got my 2 spaces to pop my placeholders in. So 63 times by 1,000 is 6,300. Can you try and match these planets to the missing calculation? Pause the video while you do that. Let's check. You should have got 802 times by 10 is 8,020. 782 times 100 is 78,200. 3,078 times by 10 is 30,780. 57 times 1,000 is 57,000. And the last one is 705,000 times by 1,000 is 705,000. Okay, we've done multiplying, so this time we're going to look at dividing. What happens to our answer this time if we are dividing? Hopefully you've just written down that our answer gets smaller. So, just like we did, can you write down the number that you can see in our place value chart? I'll do it while you write it down as well. Okay, the number is 37,000. I'm going to label my columns to help me. Okay. To start with, we're going to divide the number by 10. So we've just talked about that our number gets smaller this time. So 37,000 divided by 10 is equal to. Now, if we have a look, our number needs to move 1 place to the right. So underneath, I'm going to write my number again just to give me a little bit more space. If you remember, we have our decimal point here and then we have our tenth. So I'm going to put that up there so you can see it. I'm going to label my columns as I did up there. So we're moving 1 place to the right. My 0 moves to my tenths. My 0 tens move to my 0 ones. My 0 hundreds move to 0 tens. My 7,000s move to 700s. My 7 10,000s moves to my thousands. I must remember to put my decimal place back in. So 37,000 divided by 10 would be 3,700. To complete my sentence, if I divide this number by 10, it becomes 3,700. The digits move 1 place to the right. Can you now have a go at dividing our number by 100 and by 1,000? Pause the video while you do that. Okay, so if I divide the number by 100, it would come 370 because, let me write my number again for you. I've got my ones, tens, hundreds, thousands and 10,000s. I've got my decimal place, I've got my tenths and my hundreds. If we're moving 2 places this time, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And if I put my decimal place in, you'll see the number's 370. So the digits have moved 2 places to the right. And finally, if I divide this number by 1,000, it would become 37. And the digits have moved 3 places to the right. Okay. And finally, I just want you to have a go at this for me on your piece of paper. It says, to divide by 1,000, I can divide by 10, then divide by 10, and then divide by 10 again. Can you have a go at that on your piece of paper? Do you agree with Jason or do you disagree? And explain what you think. Pause the video while you do that. Jason is correct because 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. Therefore, we can divide by 10 3 times, which would be the same as 1,000. Okay, well done for today's lesson. On our blog, you will see an activity for you to complete now. If you've got any questions, just find my email address and send me a question and I can get back to you as soon as I can. Well done, Year 5.